Yeah, mainly been doing driver school, uni. Went to uni, didn't pass uni. Then did a few driving jobs. Was a Tesco delivery driver. Was a bus driver. Did driving for Bromley Council, driving those white things for the learning disabled and the elderly, take them to day centres and stuff. So did that for a year. And then I saw St Cecilia's advertising for a driver in my local news shopper. And I went for the job and got it. And that was seven years ago, last month. Yeah, I'm the paid driver. So I'm in charge for all the home's driving needs, whereby taking residents to a lot of hospital appointments. We've got 30 residents here, and obviously all of them have very complex transportation needs, and you're not going to get them on public transport very easily. So we've got at the moment 2 converted vans with ramps at the back, which we use, and so all hospital appointments, but then lots of other social trips and any other driving needs, home needs, which can combine in the contract as any other duties, which means basically anything that they need, I'll help my hand at doing, really. Gone to Twickenham for a rugby match before, a couple of rugby matches, which have always been good. Saw England, I think it was in Australia, and we beat them once. It was one of the autumn internationals, and that was the Six Nations game we went to as well. Well, we managed to get free tickets because of the charity and everything. They give away a certain number of disabled tickets to each game free, and a couple of times we were lucky enough to get a ticket for a resident and a carer. And then, it's a Sunday, we've got to take the resident to rugby. I was like, I'll do it. I've taken a few, we used to do day trips down to the seaside, done that, and a couple of residents have taken, for instance, weeks where they've gone to a different home, different end of Cheshire home, so I've driven them there and then picked them up again. One of them years ago went up to as far, I can't remember, it was a long way. I remember we had 2 minibuses because we did an exchange whereby one resident from our home went to change places with another resident. And I ended up meeting their driver in a service station car park on the M1 somewhere. I think it was up to, was it Leeds, or even, it might be further north than that, I can't quite remember. It was a couple of hours drive that I did, met in a service station car park, changed over resident and came back again. You get personal relationship with most of them, to be honest with you. And I remember one called Brian, who couldn't see very well, couldn't hear very well, but he used to love betting. So I never had a spare afternoon. I used to go down the betting shop, Brian. Yeah, let's go. So I just take him down Bromley, just the local betting shop. So he couldn't see very well, he couldn't hear, so I just, what trap this was? Oh, I'll be on trap 2. So I put 50p each way bet, each race on trap 2 until he ran out of his £5 or made enough money and wanted to come back again. And things like that. Or there was one, he was only in here for 6 months, but I remember the day that he had an appointment back. He fell down the stairs and did a spinal injury, and he got in the clinic he was in. He went out there in a wheelchair. But I remember the day that he was able to walk, not long, but he was able to walk back in through the doors and see the nurses on his old ward walking back in, and that was a great day because it was the look in the nurse's face when they saw him walking in that made it for me. He was a good guy. I managed to actually meet him up in a pub after he's a QPR fan, I'm a Charlton fan, and we actually played each other. We went for a beer after the game, after he left here as well. So, yes. And I told him about that day, it was really good. I say it's the first place I've worked at where it's not a struggle to get out of bed in the morning. It's not that, oh God, work, dark, 5 minutes with the alarm. That hasn't happened for 7 years. It's the residents, it's the helping someone, I think. It's hugely job satisfaction, it really is. And it's so varied, my work, as I say, yes, I'm a driver, but every day is something different. Whether it is just taking someone to Bromley for shopping, or it's going up to Leeds or whatever, it's so varied. But you're always reminded how necessity it is as well, and how just going down to Bromley is nothing. Well, for me and you, it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're in a chair and you can't get out, it can be a lot more than that. I've enjoyed it immensely, really. So I think it's the most rewarding job I've had, and for me, I enjoy it the most of any job I've had. It's more than a job, it really is.